Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is the October 23rd meeting of the Board of Sewer Commissioners. I'd like to call the meeting to order. And a roll call, please.
Scott Sobey.
Bob Scanlon.
Carrie Pastor.
Sandy Slavin.
And Jim Gibberti. Do we have any citizens for participation? It doesn't look it. Okay. We have minutes from the October 9th meeting and workshop. And I believe Sandy
I have
has...
reviewed the October 9th meeting, and they made a change. They had GHE as opposed to GHD, and they had our meeting at 1 o'clock on the 13th as opposed to 3 o'clock. I had them change that. And Scott had an issue with, I think it's the workshop one, but this is the regular meeting of October 9th. I make a motion we accept as presented.
Second the motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And the workshop?
The workshop one, Scott made a point that under WPCF billing insert, we use the word illicit as opposed to illicit, and he asked that it be changed from an I to an E.
And remove one of the L's.
And remove one of the, correct the spelling of ILLICIT.
Yeah, I don't think illicit should normally be in our minutes, but illicit is okay.
I would say you're right.
As modified. I make a motion we accept the October 9th workshop minutes as modified.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, and we have a couple of contracts. One is for Weston and Sampson. And this is for a time extension.
Do we have the contract number?
If it were on the sheet, you could have it. It's for the Narrows Pump Station Forced Main Improvements Project.
So the number on that would be CR-24-117.
Get that off that list.
Say that again, CR?
CR-24-117.
So that's the force main that we had extended until 10/23/25?
This is being extended to June 30th, 26. They're looking to delete one sentence and replacing it with, the engineer agrees, start over. The engineer agrees to provide services for the estimated duration of work, starting with 7 days of the signing this agreement and concluding by June 30th, 26.
But we don't have the original second sentence to compare that with. I don't see it anyway.
Nope.
So it really would be helpful if we're going to delete a sentence, to know what that sentence said.
I think, sorry, isn't it on the next page?
No?
No.
Okay,
The original contract was 365 days. So it was going from 10/23 to 10/23. Yeah, go up to a mic.
yeah, could you come up here? Yeah.
If you could introduce yourself, yes.
I am John Potts with Weston and Sampson Engineers. The original contract was executed for 10/23/2024, and it had a 365-day duration. So it would have ended 10/23, actually ends today. So we extended it till June 30th. So that's, the days just changed from the 365 to 515 or whatever it is.
Yeah, I have no reason to doubt that's true, but we're going to sign off on a contract without seeing what is going to be deleted. It's not your fault. I understand that. I'm not trying to blame
Oh,
you.
sorry.
I believe you completely.
I was trying to find if I had a copy of the contract in my emails. Sometimes I do.
What would happen if we tabled this until we have evidence of the second sentence that we're going to delete?
I think it's just going to change the date.
Well, it will delay if we wait until our next meeting. We have
Is
this
there any
information,
work
it's
that
gonna-
needs to be done during this period while we delay it? Because this,
Because we won't have a signed contract if we don't approve.
I realize that.
But we're being asked to approve something, we don't know what we're approving. I mean,
We don't know
testimony
what's been
notwithstanding.
deleted.
We need to have, every time we're going to be changing a contract or approving a contract, we need to know what it is we're approving. In this case, we have testimony that I believe, but there's nothing saying that Mr. Potts can't be mistaken. I mean, we need to have these written so that we can see them.
I don't have the signed version of the contract. I'm trying to find it, but I do have the copy that we signed that was sent to you back in October or September that shows that paragraph on my phone.
Is there any harm in us waiting till we see it? Is there anything taking place in the next 2 weeks?
Russ Kleekamp with EDR Engineers. To answer that question directly, I believe the answer is no. We're going to present the schedule tonight with an end date. That's the June 30th. That end date will not change. So as long as you're all right with that, John.
Yeah, we're gonna keep working.
We're going to keep working on it. It's not going to stop us or the efforts moving forward.
And my thought process would be to hold off till we see it.
So I move to table until we have the additional information.
I'll second the motion.
All in favor?
Hold on, just one sec.
Are you looking to see if you have a contract in your folder?
Yes. I don't know if this is it or not. Including 18th of October. No, I don't think this is the one. This one ended September 30th of 2025.
That's the last one I have. No, I'm sorry, I have one for October 25. But
That
not
would be
with
the-
me.
That would be the one.
But it's not with, I don't have it with me.
Oh, okay.
We're in the middle of a vote.
Yeah.
All right,
Okay,
We've had a motion, it's been seconded.
it's already been made, seconded.
I seconded it.
All in favor?
aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay. And we have a contract for Kelly Barrasso for transcriptionist work. Contract is for a year. An option to renew for up to 2 if agreed upon by both parties. And for a price of $25 per hour, not to exceed that.
But there's nothing to say how, the total cost.
Depends on how long our meetings are.
Exactly, depends on how long the meetings are and how many changes you require.
Funded out of what budget line?
Where's it coming now?
Just comes out of general.
Move to accept the Kelly Barrasso contract.
I will second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Now for fun and games. Now I'd like to have Russ Kleekamp, EDR, regarding the Narrows update.
Russ Kleekamp, engineer with EDR. Also with me is John Potts of Weston and Sampson's Engineering. And what John's handing out now is a project schedule for the remainder of the design work for the Narrows force main replacement. We are both aware that there is a high priority on this project. The criticality is of the utmost importance. So we wanted to provide the board with an update tonight with the schedule, the major items that John can walk through momentarily here. And yes, funding is the big question too. So obviously this would be contingent upon a Springtown meeting vote. We do have to appropriate some additional funds. I understand there's some funding that was set aside for the previous force main project where they looked at using a liner. So this work is contingent upon a Springtown meeting vote. We can invite Derek Sullivan to an upcoming meeting very soon and talk with him through these things. And it would also be a good idea to have John Foster, the finance director, just if there's questions about the exact mechanisms for financing. So with that brief introduction, I'll turn it over to John, and he can walk through the major items on the schedule. And if there's any questions at all, just please feel free to ask.
Again, my name is John Potts of the Weston and Sampson Engineers. I'm just going to walk briefly through the 7 items that we have in the schedule. As you can see, the first item was the preliminary investigations, which since about May, June, and over the summer, it involved investigating a secondary route that we gave a presentation to you guys in July about. Originally, we were going to replace the force main either parallel to the force main at Narrows and Minot, but now we're going to extend the force main up Route 6 and bring it down Tony's Lane as a better alternative that allows more flexibility for the town in the future for potential tie-in locations along the way from other sub-areas that are being identified in the CWMP. So that's what, over the summer, we gave that presentation to you. And so then in the next item, which moves on to field investigations, which is going to be from August till about mid-December. Once we finalize the route, we have soil borings, about 30 to 35 of them that are going to take place along Route 6 from starting at on the Narrows Road side of the railroad tracks and go about every 250 to 300 feet all the way up to down Tony's Lane. So there's be about 35 soil borings. And because it's a state highway, we're caught in the loop of the delays with Mass DOT and their permit review. They've had the permit for about 2 months now. We're supposed to get the 25% comments coming up in the next week or so before. So we've, as you can see on the schedule, we've estimated on the schedule that around the last 3 weeks, which are the first 3 weeks of December, between the 1st and the 19th, we'll be doing the soil borings. We'll get out of the way before Christmas, so we'll take about 3 weeks to do the soil borings. Once we also changed the route, we had to get a whole new utility survey of Route 6. So JC Engineering has been doing that over the summer between August and September. They've told us that they have the base mapping in place. They're putting it all together to get us the CAD drawings so that now we can start to put pencil to paper as well. Number 3, which is ongoing right now and a little bit into next month, is the force main modeling. And what that's going to do is we're getting the optimum size of the force main that will allow to handle Narrows Pump Station now, potential flows coming in from Indian Neck in the future if that becomes an option, and then the other up near Santos Drive, talking about areas from the CWMP that can come in. But we're also looking at installing a parallel force main up near Santos that will be installed dry at the same time as this one, so that it won't necessarily be part of the model. But right now we're modeling the pipe of the force main to handle all the future flows from other areas in town now.
And I would just ask a question. So For field investigations, it's the soil sampling and the utility assessments, is that right?
Yes.
Is it just those two things that go into the field
Yes.
assessment? And what are you looking for in the soil cores?
Just the stability of the soil to hold the 18-inch pipe, to make sure that it's not peat, to make sure the soil will be stable enough without having to do special excavation and special pipe beddings.
Okay, thank you.
The borings will be about 15 feet deep. We go about 150% past the invert. The pipe itself will only be about probably 6 to 8 feet deep, but we'll go to 15, just so we know where groundwater is, to find out if there's any rock. I wouldn't anticipate with the other utilities out there, I'm hoping most of the rock, if there's any, has already been cleared with the waters and the drains that's already there, so.
So you'll be able to see a different strata if there are
Yes.
different strata?
Yes.
Soil characterization, exactly.
Yeah, so, pardon my ignorance in this area, but then is it possible that you would have to change the level of the depth of the pipe if the strata didn't allow for support, or?
One of the main reasons we want to know that is if there's existing material that's unsuitable to be put back into the trench for backfill. So if there's, like John mentioned, any peat, if that road was built up on fill, we want to make sure that that pipe has a stable bedding and material around it. So as long as it's all native sand that meets the sand and gravel that meet the backfill spec, we can reuse it. If
Oh, I
it's
see.
material we cannot reuse, then we have to estimate the exact quantity. So when we put it out to bid, we'll have a line item for removal of unsuitable material, and then there may be a line item for the importing of suitable material. But if we don't do the borings, we won't know that, and you don't want to get caught red-handed in construction with a wide-open trench.
Right, thank you.
Yeah, we wouldn't change the elevation of the pipe.
Right.
It's just the
Yeah.
bedding, essentially.
Okay.
So we'll be wrapping up the modeling shortly. We've been gathering information and looking at the run times of the pump stations. And I'll be the first to admit, I'm not a modeling guy in my office. We have a guy that he talks and I listen, and he's very good at what he does.
Just a question, Mr. Chairman. What is the modeling again? What is that?
It's basically sizing the pipe. We're running all kinds of scenarios of if we add in extra flow at point A, does the pipe still stay 18 inches, or is it going to need to be 20 inches, or is 14 inches going to be okay? So we'll run a model of all different scenarios of flows through the pipes with the proposed types of the proposed material and the proposed sizes.
Mr. Chair, question. You will be sharing the road with other underground utilities?
Yes.
Water? Is electric all above ground? I think it's,
I believe it is on
We'll know
Telephone
better
and
from the
electric.
survey, but from when I driving out there, it appears to be all underground.
telephone poles, all?
Yes,
okay.
I don't have-
But there could be water lines there.
Yes, those are being identified.
Okay, will you be contacting the water department that you'll have a trench open in case they may want to do some work on those pipes?
I already talked to them because they saw the survey being done.
Okay.
They are interested in.
Because we've done it before, since you got the hole open, and I assume, I hate the word assume, our pipe would be close to the water pipe?
We would need some separation.
I know, but if I'm going to drench that's 20 inches, if I make it 24, then I include water line or something like that? I mean, but if you've answered my question, the water department has been notified, both Onset and Wareham, or is it all Wareham?
So
Okay.
here's one thing I can add to that. Because we're working in a state roadway, the state is likely going to require potentially a full-width overlay. So we'll come down with a trench, and that will be just trench pavement over the top. But the state may require, they likely will require that full-width overlay. So even if there's another trench, typically we try to get the water mains and the sewers about 10 feet across at a minimum. So say there was another trench by the water department, they wanted to do that work, then all of a sudden we could share the cost for that full-width overlay. And given the distance and the size, there could be a potential savings there. So there is a benefit to doing these projects at once, but we also want to make sure that if that project's not ready to go, it doesn't slow down our overall schedule, or maybe DOT can, they're likely not going to want to wait a season with trench patching out there.
Now, listening to what happened Route 6 and 28, once everything's done and it's paved correctly the whole way, there has to be how many years before you can break?
It's 5.
5
5-year
years.
moratorium.
So in the meantime, as you are taking the pipe, you will be connecting to homes?
No, this will be just a straight transmission force main carrying the product from the Narrows pump station directly
So
to the...
none of the homes on Route 6, Sandwich Road, will be connected to sewer?
Not at this time, no.
Not at this time. And if anybody would be, they have to wait 5 years to dig a,
Well, you would have to, if people were going to start connecting to the sewer, it would be part of a larger sewer collection project. They'd have to run an interceptor main down there,
Okay.
site a pump station, or make a decision to go exclusively low
so
pressure.
as a force main with no interruptions?
Correct.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
So once we get all the field, the base mapping from our surveyor, between November of this year and March of next year, we'll put together, over the 5 months, we'll put together the plans, the specifications. We'll get around January, we'll get the 90% plans to you guys, and we'll give you guys a month to review those. Once we get those back, for the next 2 months, we'll just wrap up everything and get everything for bidding. Simultaneous to the contract drawings, we'll also be doing permitting for the project, local permitting, and any Mass DOT permitting for this, which will require a bigger permit than just the borings. We'll have to, as soon as we get that into them, because we know the delays, we'll get the permit in front of them as soon as possible.
And we'll just work concurrently with the local Conservation Commission while that's going on as well. So I've already been in touch with Josh about this project for the borings, and we'll do the local permitting under that window of the larger state
So I
permit.
guess I'll see you again
Certainly will.
with my other hat on.
So, and then at the same time, the funding sources for this, we were exploring with the SRF loan through the Mass DP in the state. We submitted the application, which is called the PEF, the Project Evaluation Form. We submitted that in July. If it gets approved, they'll issue the intended use plan, the IUP. Usually comes out in January or February of this year to see if you made the list for projects. I don't know, we won't know until that list comes out. So, but that's the route we're exploring for funding right now. So if we get approved, and then it'll go to town meeting for the approval from your side for the construction of it, because you have to appropriate the money that's in the loan. Between March and April, we can submit the plans and specifications to the SRF program for their approval, because they have to give permission to bid, permission to advertise, and approve the project.
When do you think you might have an idea what we need at Springtown meeting?
We should have an idea, let's see if we, with the contract, early in the year, next year, probably around December, January, we'll have an idea. Once we get through the 90% drawings that we submit to you by January, we'll also submit an opinion of probable cost with that at the same time. So when we give you the 90% plans, we'll also have a cost.
Of 26 and 26, right?
Yes.
So October, November, December, January, March. So I believe we would have to have our article submitted by sometime in February
Okay.
for February, March, for Springtown meeting. So that would be a target date, looking for our deadline to make the warrant.
Okay. We can get the opinion of probable cost pretty much before we even submit the 90% plans. We'll work on that to get that to you beforehand, because we'll be doing that simultaneously. We'll be estimating the quantities and figuring out the cost estimate at the same time. So we can get you that before we can even get you the contract drawings.
Thank you.
So once we do that, the next step would be bidding assistance, and we've listed this and shown it in a different color because we don't know yet if it'll be approved at town meeting, if it's on the IUP, so we've just put that tentative right now, and that schedule takes us out to the end of June, which is what the amendment's for.
So I have a question. If everything goes smoothly, we get all the permits and funding and all that stuff, and we put this new line down Sandwich Road, does anything need to be done on Minot Road? Do we need to do any, I don't know,
Is that the net?
filling?
We have
or-
we've basically taken this whole overall project into a three-phase project, and Minot is part of phase 3, where phase 2 would be the potential of rerouting Indian Neck Pump Station out of the existing force main and back into the new Narrows force main back at the bridge. And then phase 3 would be addressing all the properties between the treatment plant and the elementary school back to the intersection within Indian Neck, Narrows, and Minot. And what that would do is we're tentatively right now looking at a gravity sewer coming back to, because based on the grade, it looks like a gravity sewer can come back to that manhole that flows into Indian Neck. So all those properties could, or mostly get picked up by gravity. There's a few at the end, about 1,000 or 1,100 feet that would be, need to be pressure sewer. But that is part of a future phase.
Okay, so this, what you've given us here is phase 1 only?
This is phase 1, yes.
Okay, so is it possible to give us sort of a rough estimate for timing and for the cost? I mean, you know what a WAG is, right?
We can do a high level, I mean,
Yeah.
assuming, you know, just say it has to, you know, lay out a schedule, you know, with some just qualifiers, like, you know, it may have to go to town meeting here and, you know, pass, but
We did do at the July meeting, we did present some costs for each of the phases.
Yeah, I remember 24.6 is a number that sticks in my head, but is
Yeah, the
that,
first one was, the first phase was, I think, between 13 and 16. I think phase 2 was around 5, and phase 3 was, which would be Minot, was around 3 million, which gets you to the 24, 16, 5, and 3.
okay.
one of the benefits of that later phase, if we do install a gravity down Minot Road, we eliminate the scenario that we're in now where we have multiple properties tapping into a very large force main with a very small force main. It's not exactly ideal. That was pre-existing, I think, before any of us that are having this discussion. But again, it will provide a better benefit to those homeowners especially, because if something happens to this force main right now, anybody connected to it is also going to feel the impacts of that. That's why it's not, this is a little atypical to have, you know, properties with small diameters tying into directly to such a large diameter force main.
Atypical kind of sounds typical to me, but that's okay. Does it make sense to do this project in phases, or should we present for all 3 phases at once? I mean, they all have to be done. I mean, 24.6 is a large number, large-ish number for the 40% of the town that's, you know, I guess it wouldn't be paid out of the sewer users anyway. This has got to be a whole town thing, right? No?
No.
Sewer users.
But over the course of years, and, you know, with that in mind, I think looking for the approval on one phase at a time is probably the better way to do it, on the off chance of rejection. Because we have to do the force main. We need to repair the force main, and that's pressing. The other 2 phases are created as phases because they can wait.
Yeah, but so this is a political decision, right? Because you either have the reaction being, oh, this is a huge amount of money, $24.6 million. What are they trying to do to our whatever? Versus, oh, they do one thing, now they come back and do it again, and now they're asking for more money yet again. So I'm not sure politically, maybe that's not a question for us, but for...
I agree with Scott, little bit, smaller bits, because you can't risk having the whole thing being rejected on town meeting.
But can it be worded or articulated to the point that the phase 1 has to be done?
Well-
Right? Has to be done. I think the town understands that, John Q. Public. And then it's gonna cost us the 16 million, but we need to put the next phase 2 and phase 3 together too and let you know up front.
To me, the article would be presented to say, this is what we need in order to get the force main from Narrows to the plant. Then we can put in our explanation that there will be further projects coming down the pike in order to better service other sections
if I might interject a little here. I believe we have told the town and the ratepayers regularly that we're gonna be, this is only one, I don't mean this specific project, but the one we're doing right now with the plant. This is only one facet of what has to be done to the town to get this sewer department on an even keel all the way around. So we're gonna be looking for more money for different projects as we go. And I agree with Sandy, we need to go look at this phase one and get this done. The other two phases aren't critical. This particular phase is critical. We've also got a potentially critical area vis-à-vis Heinz Field and the onset area, which isn't being addressed at the moment.
Now, keep in mind
And
that,
so that's
sorry.
all money that's gonna be required going down the line. So you're gonna have different projects coming forward as we need them. And I think it's gonna be on a criticality-based repair, because that's what seems to be happening.
At the same time, in Springtown meeting, we will rescind that $6 million that had been previously approved. So what we're looking for is only an increment of 10 million,
Right.
which is a little bit better than saying, well, we thought we could use the 6, we can't use it for what you approved it for. Now we're going to give back the 6 and ask for 16, net 10. It's a little easier. But we can't forget, we have to rescind that $6 million one.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's a given right now.
I know, but I just wanted to put it on the plate.
And that's a given, I think we realize that, that's not it's just because of the squirrely things. But we're gonna be asking for more money,
Well, this is what I'm thinking, so,
and you can only ask for so much at a
See.
bite.
yeah, they wanted $36 million for the plant, okay. Now they want $16 million for this thing, then they're gonna want $6 million, then they want $91 million to run a new line out to the canal. Then they want $596 million over the next 20 years for the CWMP. And the other odd thing is that the town meeting is, anyone in the town can come, but they're going to be deciding about what the sewer users are going to pay, and it's about 40% of the town, which I think that's really interesting. It's not the sewer users who are determining whether they're going to be doing this money, it's the whole
And
town.
there's no way to know how many sewer users are in town meeting. It's not 40% of the total population,
right.
so,
It's-
but
yeah.
It's a dilemma, I think, where we have a mutually exclusive phases, right? But we have to mutually include them all, when you think about it, down the road.
At some point in time, we're gonna hit a stage where we're gonna be able to get that included. I don't see any way around it in the long run. In the short haul, that's what we're dealing with right now.
One thought or just maybe discussion point. I truly, Dr. Sobey, I can't agree with you more, how people at a town meeting, you sell, one project for an amount and then the next one, and then the speculation is, well, how much longer does this keep going? So all of our neighbors on Cape Cod are struggling with this exact issue. Barnstable's facing a price tag that starts with the letter B, not an M, for their wastewater over the next 30 years. In fact, they've hired a full staff of engineers and professionals to develop, rather than hiring out consultants. They were the one town that did a lot of the work internally and then would pass it on to the consulting firms. But I think the bigger question or the bigger picture item might be some public education on wastewater with the town, just so we don't keep surprising them with, we got to fix this, now we got to do this, now we got to expand here, is to talk about what is a CWMP, why is it important, even if you have to break it down smaller to what is nitrogen and why is it important. There's a lot of folks that are still gray on this whole area, and when we start talking the numbers and the price tags that we do, when you're uncertain and you see these numbers, it can lead to a misaligned thought process. So to get in front of this with some education, whether it's public forums, workshops, discussions, we don't necessarily want to have this discussion on town meeting floor about the depth of the CWMP and what that means and how a town has to plan around that and what they can do to benefit themselves moving forward. But I think the town, much like all of our neighbors, we're at that point where we need to start educating the public on this. interesting discussion between ratepayers and the whole town. On Cape Cod, some of the towns are saying this is a water quality issue. Everybody enjoys the water quality equally. Let's share it amongst the masses of the town. And when you start talking figures this high, one would say that that is the most equitable way to fund this. As it stands right now, I understand it falls on the sewer users. But if the sewer users start catching wind of projects in the hundreds of millions of dollars and it's all on us, we'll have to do damage control in the public forum. So it's a lot easier to put the education up there up front, or at least make every effort to do it. And while this can be considered a public meeting, not many people tune in and listen, and that's what they come back and say. You can say we've had 32 sewer commissioner meetings where we talked about this, but sometimes the extra effort to either hold these workshops or forums does pay off.
Sorry, for my minutes, can you tell me phase 1, 2, and 3, what they are and what's the cost for each? I got phase 3, redirect mine it for 3 million. What was phase 1?
Phase 1 is what we're doing right now, the new force main up Sandwich Road.
I call it narrow, right?
And that's for
16?
16. What's phase 2?
Phase 2 is to redirect the Indian Neck Pump
Okay,
Station
thank
back
you.
to the Narrows
I
Road.
remember that now.
Yep.
Thank you. Thank you, thank you.
I'm sorry, how'd you refer to the third phase as what? Which,
Redirect mine it?
Mine it.
It's,
Mine it, okay,
yeah, mine it
redirect that
coming
whole
back
line.
into the Indian Neck Pump
that
Station.
whole line, okay. And that would be gravity, probably.
Yes, combination, mostly gravity with a little bit of pressure sewer at the very end up near the school.
Right.
Oh, are there gas lines down Route 6? Or just water lines?
Not positive.
There are gas lines.
So they
Gas
could,
lines come in from.
it's possible they could be contacted too to say, hey, we're opening the road.
No, we'll
It's just
surprise
called
them.
dig safe?
I'm gonna sneak right
You
up on them,
surprised
surprise
them.
them, yeah.
Because I know when they came down Oak Street, they helped with the cost. Because they redid the lines when they had the trenches open for Oak Street, and it reduced the total cost.
But they will obviously be contacted.
Sorry.
They'll be contacted prior to being impacted, how's that?
Is there any other questions we can answer?
I got a couple comments there. I think this is fantastic, the great time flow chart here, but to the layperson, and you were going through some of the things that need to be done. In each category, could we have some subcategories, some details of, yeah, you just smile because you know you wanted it too,
I had
right?
one, yes.
Yep,
I only
all right.
brought- But I only brought one copy.
See, like, you know. No, just when, for the next, my next comment's gonna, maybe will help you out with it. We haven't seen you since July, I think it was, right?
Correct.
Correct, and we miss you. And this is a big project for us, so can we set up some time? If I look at this, I'm looking at this workflow, time flow. I'd like to see you sometime in the first of the year to give us an update on where we were on this phase here of field investigations.
This is unofficial, but this has the
Aha.
meetings.
Why didn't I get this earlier? I'm just teasing you, stop it.
Here, take your phone out and take a picture of it.
It's just consider.
I have one other copy.
Yeah, thank you, that's beautiful.
So we'll see that in January.
I mean, I'm asking, is that possible that?
We can set up a meeting with you anytime you'd like. If you want us to come in December or at the end of November to find out, just to give you guys an update, we can do that, either Zoom or we can come in. It's not a,
I would offer that if you'd like us to come in monthly. I don't know, Commissioner Scanlon, if you went back and watched all the commissioner meetings on YouTube, you probably saw me at the onset of this. I think for 3 or 4 years, I was almost at every single meeting.
Yeah, with cannolis.
Wow.
But I'm happy, if it's a monthly check-in, I'm happy. You had no additional cost, none of that stuff. We'll certainly have better communication.
Why don't you, we'll have a discussion amongst ourselves and.
Sure.
And figure, I'd like to see it myself personally.
It'll be also useful, going back to this idea of open public education, for one or both of you to be available or maybe doing a PowerPoint presentation. I'm not sure exactly what the forum would be. I think when the articles are presented at the town meeting, there's an opportunity to present the article with more detail, right?
You got 5 minutes to present the article.
To talk fast.
I've been there before and done it for a few of the other projects, so, but this is just, again, the criticality of this pipeline. You know, a lot of times it sounds strange, but I relate your sewer system to the human body. You know, your brain is the treatment plant, your organs are your major pump stations, and you have all the veins and arteries that are your collection systems. If you cut a finger off, you can still live, you know, there's appendix can come out, you still live. But if you hit a major pump station or a major line, and this really is your most important line because it takes more or less half of Wareham and all the critical facilities on it. It really is. If that goes down, you know, we have an issue on our hands. In the past, the wastewater articles at town meeting have seemed to pass fairly well. And again, nothing is guaranteed. But I do now have at the back of my mind, you know, with these projects as they come up, you know, we can't, there just has to be a better holistic understanding of the town as we move forward with all these.
Yeah.
You know, as some of you may or may not be aware, Sandy is a no. There has been discussion in the past, not necessarily by us per se, but in other forums that the whole town should contribute to the sewer, but that's really gone nowhere.
I believe at our last minute, didn't, one of our meetings with Mr. Sullivan, didn't he comment on that?
He did.
He did.
I was talking outside before that.
But just as a point of reference, the first time we asked for the 36 million in July 23, it was defeated. We came back in October with more information for the 36 million, and it passed. So we've got to be as clear as we can when we submit our articles, so we don't have this word defeat on my master
I
list.
think we have to make it understood that it is not something that we want to do, it's something that we have to do. There's a difference.
And remind them what happened in Plymouth.
Exactly.
We can
Plymouth,
strategize
Yeah.
the public
To
notifications.
me, that would be a good workshop document.
Yes.
Russ, didn't they have an issue over in Nantucket also?
They did.
Yeah, so I thought.
Challenging part about that is it happened when the harbors were iced in. There was no ferry service, so they had to fly repair parts in the Robert B. Hour Company on Black Hawk helicopters
Oh, they didn't use
to
ice
the
skates?
island
Oh, Jesus.
to fix it. So it speaks upon the importance of having repair parts in your inventory. So just so you don't run into things like that.
Interesting, I didn't know that part of it.
So this is kind of an odd question for you. It's not addressed to you, but will the next bill go out before the spring town meeting?
Yes.
The reason is because we can put an insert in with the bill. And there's always been some information on that, you know, how to get a, what do you call
Yep.
it?
The February, changes to our inserts are due February 1st,
Okay, so,
next billing cycle.
so we can start putting information in about projects like this, just to start getting people thinking about it. Maybe thinking about it is not the right approach, I'm not sure, but at least being informed about it.
Don't
so they
want to
can-
surprise them.
No, we don't want,
right.
yeah, we don't want them on the town meeting. What do you mean you're talking about that money? Why didn't I hear about it?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Another town through this process that I felt was fairly successful did a program called Wastewater Wednesdays, where they updated a Facebook page every Wednesday with a new topic about wastewater.
I like that.
They talked about, you know, what is a CWMP? You know, just took some major subjects and talked about it every Wednesday, and it just kind of created a buzz, and everybody was staying tuned because, you know, you hear about these projects and a big price tag, and I've been doing this for 23 years. Yes, I know all about it, but it was amazing. Some of the folks, they still don't know why is nitrogen a bad thing. Isn't that an essential nutrient? Isn't that part of organic chemistry? And don't we breathe it? And why is it bad? So you really got to break it down to a very low level and then work your way up. But to have an interactive forum or just something that keeps building upon itself, then you can archive every wastewater Wednesday, and you can tell the story of Wareham's wastewater's program moving forward. And there's other ways of public communication, but it all starts with the group wanting to do it, recognizing the need to do it, why we need to do it, and move it forward.
Yeah. And there are some exciting, interesting things happening at the plant, too. Scott's experimenting with some new ideas and implementing them,
See, putting
composting.
Scott in his own podcast.
There you go.
And the wood chips?
What's new in poo?
Is it
would be a
on the
good time
agenda for an update
instead
on the
of
wood chip
wastewater
project? I can
Wednesdays.
also talk about that, but I don't want to speak
No, it's
out.
not on the agenda. It's just one of the things that's being worked on at the plant. We're looking for alternatives to reduce the nitrogen.
Excellent.
Anybody, anything else?
Very nice, appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Russ, thank you very much. Thank
Welcome.
you
Thank you
very
both.
I do have a second, one of the more detailed schedule.
Sure.
Thanks.
Have a good weekend.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Go Blue Jays.
I'm rooting for the Blue Jays.
I too.
Enjoy your trip.
Thank you.
This is interesting.
Does that mean the Red Sox are out of it?
Oh, I thought there was still, no?
Russ, would your copier down there be able to make a copy of that?
What's that?
Would the copier that's down at the plant?
Can
be
you
able
do
to make a
legal-size
copy?
papers?
Legal, this is legal. Can Yeah, 'cause that's, I like that. That's a good shot
Bob,
right
you
there.
want to give everybody a quick update on the contractors meeting?
Everything is going swimmingly. Not ahead of schedule, but everything's going on schedule or very close to it, and there have been no problems or issues brought up, so everything's going well.
Anybody have any questions?
No.
Okay. And now,
I do have a question.
This is Waterline Industries, right?
Yep.
Correct.
Yeah.
And the last thing we had was a change order number 3 for 3 changes. Is that still?
yep,
We had 2 number 2 changes. I was surprised at that.
It's all about number 2.
I know there was a number 2 for 7 changes and a number 2 for 9 changes and a number 3 for 3
it's
changes.
done, we don't need to go over it.
So Scott,
Just trying to understand what it
That's
was.
Well, think about it. Go ahead, Scott.
will the new building be housing vehicles this winter?
Yes, the garage doors went up this week.
Excellent.
Wow.
Yep, so it's actually enclosed now. And I believe the heat source is in. They're down to the fine finishes, so we should have a building to house our Vector truck without it freezing in the next month.
Excellent.
Nice.
Sarah Greenberg, GHD.
All right, perfect. I'm Sarah Greenberg, GHD. Tonight, we were talking about 0% interest funding through the SRF program. So we're here today because, as you all know, the Comprehensive Wastewater Management Plan is in, and I know what you're going to say. You're going to say that the boat hasn't moved.
It hasn't.
We got to make that boat move. We'll work on that. So the Comprehensive Wastewater Management Plan is currently submitted to the state. It's under review with the state through MEPA, and it's currently in the public comment period. The state did ask for a 2-week extension of the comment period, and the town granted that extension. It's not an extension you really have a choice for, right? But the reason we're here today is because the push to get the CWMP approved is because the trust reached out to the town to say, hey, the loan for the 36 million for the wastewater plant phase 2 improvements project, are you going for 0 or 2% interest? And so the town, and so when we realized, oh, we still have an opportunity for 0%, interest for that loan. That was reinvigorated of, can we make it? Can we try to get 0% interest for that loan instead of 2%, which is what we had gone for. So there's two critical things that need to happen in order for 0% to even be eligible under the state revolving fund loan program. So these are the 5 requirements. I'm not going to read them in detail. I can provide these slides for you guys for your record. But you need to, obviously the project needs to be nutrient removal related, which we would provide in the application that we send to the SRF program. You can't be in a current violation of a consent order, which just means that anything from either the state or federal government that says you're violating and sending too many nutrients or not meeting your permit, which they're not, there's no consent order issue. You need an approved CWMP, which is not completed yet, and that's what I just updated is in process. And you need regional, and you need to talk about how this relates to regional water resource management, which we will do, which gets initiated through the state review process that the CWMP is currently undergoing. So that will happen through that process. And then the second critical thing is the flow neutral land use controls. So in order to be eligible for 0% for the loan, again, the loan has been approved, it's 2%. The numbers that were presented at town meeting, I will note in October when it was approved for what the cost of the loan was based on 2% interest. So because we were not sure if 0% would be able to be obtained. But flow neutral land use control is the other piece that needs to be put into place. So that would be what we call flow neutral regulations in the sewer regulations. And so that's what I want to talk to you about here today. It was talked about a few years ago and was kind of, I guess, put on pause for a while. And so we wanted to readdress it to see if the town and the sewer commission wanted to consider moving forward with it in order for this $36 million loan that's currently ongoing to be eligible for 0% instead of 2%. So flow neutral, I just want to talk about kind of high level what that means and what that is. So it's regulations, and you should in your packet have a sample regulations that were provided. We drafted some up for the town of Wareham, and it pretty much establishes that the sewer regs are going to be maintained to the CWMP flows. So you're not stopping growth. You are just saying that the flow neutrality, if you will, equals the flows that are planned for under the CWMP process and plan. And so that flow allocation value that's listed in the CWMP draft report includes all of these factors, allowances for all these things: population growth, economic growth, redevelopment, all of which have been discussed with the CWMP advisory group with the planning department, with the town administration, with all of the other groups, public health needs and environmental needs, and then future infill of the existing sewer system as well. So to remind us of what that flow value is in the CWMP, the 20-year planning period is 3 million gallons per day. The current plant, of course, is 1.56 million gallons per day permit of what it can discharge to the river. The CWMP plan takes into account all the items that I just mentioned. It's just listed out here to account for future growth, whether it's, again, population growth, economic growth, redevelopment of existing parcels, and we even have this undesignated growth allowance in here to account for any possible additional growth that isn't predicted currently based on the planning department's knowing what the current, they have their current plan for growth and development in the town. So I thought I'd throw together a nice little pie chart to show that this is for future wastewater flow. So this just does not include the existing plant flows of about 1 million gallons per day. So you can see how the undesignated growth allowance, you can see how population growth, and you can see how economic growth, the percentage of that's allocated for growth. Because I know that flow neutral regulations often the questions come up of, is this going to, stifle growth in the town, economic growth, what have you? And so all that these flow neutral regs do is say, we're going to work within the bounds of the comprehensive wastewater management planning flow allowance. So with that, I'm gonna pause and let's have a maybe open discussion, see what questions you guys have.
What do we have to do to work toward getting a flow neutral? What is our next step?
Yep. So the immediate next step would be to review the draft regulations that we sent to see if the sewer commission finds it appropriate, has any comments on it that they feel that there are additional items being, or things to be changed, what have you. And I can share that on the screen too, if that's.
Is this something we need in our bylaw?
It needs to be added to no, it's not a bylaw, it's just being added to the sewer regulations.
Regulation that we would be able to produce ourselves.
Which we don't have right now.
We have regulations, but we don't have this.
Yes.
Our regulations are in our bylaws, so this is a separate regulation.
Yeah, we talked about this last meeting, that it's confusing because what's in the bylaws.
Yes, it is, thank you.
So those need to be segregated, and one of the suggestions from Mr. Sullivan was to hire someone to disaggregate those kinds of things. So it's a longer process than just adding an article.
If we come up with our own rules and regulations, do we need approval by anybody?
Not that I'm aware of.
Might want to run them by the planning people, I don't know.
Well, but I'm thinking
Actually-
town meeting.
Yeah, okay.
Actually,
You know,
probably
I'm sure it
check-
has to be reviewed
Probably
by,
check with Rich Bowen. Be the simplest way rather than all this other stuff. I mean, he can tell us, probably answer yes or no on whether we need it, whether it has to go that way or
and
what.
this could very well be our first rules and regulations.
That's, could well be.
Because one of the things we want to do is put an RFP together for someone to review all our governing documents, because they are so confusing. So you would recommend that we take a hard look at what you have in our packet? Land use controls, wastewater flow management, or are we talking the flow neutral bylaw?
So that's, they're, the terms, sorry for the confusion of the terms, but they are fairly used interchangeably. So these are land use control, and what the reason they're termed flow neutral is because you're not increasing your flows, you're not allowing for flow increases beyond some established value, that established value being the 20-year planning flow under the CWMP. So, but they are land use control regulations, yes.
So this flow neutral bylaw would require town meeting approval, but a regulation would not, correct? Interesting.
And just to talk, so the reason also, the consideration for regulation versus bylaw is in place is because the application to have the $36 million loan be eligible for 0% financing needs to be submitted and complete by the end of January. And so the schedule is very tight in terms of this has to go concurrently with the current approval process for the CWMP. And so, for example, so that's why we're requesting if we can, to get feedback or agreement on this land use as an appropriate, again, not today, this is to present it to you, have an opportunity to ask questions, provide comments, so we can come back at the next meeting to see if we can move it forward, because it does need to be submitted to the state for approval through the Housing Authority.
Could we put it on our next workshop?
Oh, yes, definitely, it's going there.
And maybe Sarah could come join us?
Yep, yep,
It's in the afternoon.
yep, sounds good.
3
Yep,
o'clock.
Absolutely.
Well, 3 o'clock for the meeting, workshop at 3:30. So our homework is to take this home and digest
Our
it.
homework is first to check with Rich and see what do we have.
Well, we also need to look at this, though,
Oh, yeah, we
to
still have to
This
look at
has
this
to be
as well.
looked at before the workshop, yeah, so.
I understand that. It's pretty simple. But we need to check with Rich and see whether or not we can just do this. I think we can. I don't see any reason we can't.
So
There's
we-
nothing that I know of that we can't.
We only have Rich for what, next Thursday, that's when he's available?
Bob, can you get in touch with Rich?
I will. And I think he's in on Wednesdays.
And Scott, you have a copy of this too, for you to review and.
Can we electronically give it to Rich for ahead of time?
Well, we should go over
Or
it first.
find
though.
out whether or not we can do it without approval?
Bob will take care of it.
Yeah. I'll take care of it.
So the minutes, Bob will take care of it.
Bob will take
Yep.
care of it. We'll die trying.
I do have a question about the CWMP, if we're finished with flow neutral? Are we
Sure.
finished with flow neutral?
Yep.
Okay, so in the MIPA meeting, I wrote down 2 notes about modifications MIPA is interested in CWMP. One of them was to use a newer set of data for, was it a model, I think it was. Someone asked, why are you using this old data for making this model, or
The flood zones.
the flood
Yep,
zone
yep,
stuff, okay.
yep.
And then the second one was, someone was interested in resurrecting the idea of the new outflow going into the canal, going back to
Mass Maritime.
Mass Maritime to take a more regional approach. And so I know that Anastasia handled that question really well, saying that, yeah, that could be, so, but that was kind of minimized, or not even, it was, the CWMP was mute on that point, on the idea of going to Mass Maritime. I mean, there, you see the flow diagrams and all that kind of stuff, but, so I had a question whether those changes then would be made and then sent back to us and to the select board and all that stuff, or does it just go back to MIPA? What is the process for making those, I think, substantive changes to the CWMP?
Yep, good question. So the MIPA office will issue at the end of the comment period formal comments to address. And since we, of course, anticipate, we have, a preview of some of the comments, so we can be working on that now. But they'll submit a formal list of comments that have to be addressed for the resubmittal. So in the schedule timeline, concurrently with looking to try to get 0% interest, we have, I think, allocated only 2 weeks for addressing the comments. So there isn't a lot of time in there to get to have other review processes. So if that's important, it's really up to the town, the sewer commission and the town entities if they want another review by the select board versus us providing the, list of comments and how we addressed it in the CWMP, as a, if you will, cheat sheet, cliff notes, if you will, of that. And so does that sort of answer your question?
Yeah, so when do the MIPA comments come?
They've extended it 2 weeks, and originally the deadline was going to be this Friday. So November 7th would be the end of the public comment period, and then the MIPA office would provide a certificate including comments November 14th, the following week.
Okay, so can those be sent to us as soon as they come out from MIPA?
The comments?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Do they go to you, or do they go to us? I'm not sure what the process.
I think actually I'm the contact on the ENF form. So yeah, they'll come to me and I can send them to the sewer commission as soon as we get them.
That would be great. I'd love to see those.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
you.
And I will just note that the Mass Maritime, I think it was really exciting that it was talked about again and brought up, because the history and the reason that it was just mentioned in the CWMP as one of the options that isn't being pursued further is because it met with barriers when it came to MassDOT permitting and the railroad, and there wasn't a lot of regional support. It was very, Wareham really wanted to push it forward, but there wasn't a lot of regional support. And so hearing the state, the DEP entities say, this is important, and can we reconsider it? I think that's great. I think the town is really open to it. And as you heard Derek on the call say, if you could help us with that MassDOT process, that's very helpful. So there's no reason we can't be pursuing multiple outfall location options concurrently. A lot of that work has already been done, but we also don't want to give up on looking at these other locations that are just controllable by Wareham, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I thought, and if I were going to make any comment in the MIPA meeting, and I chose not to, would be to ask Anastasia to present the pros and cons of the two main proposals, one being the Mass Maritime and the other one being the Great Neck alternative. I didn't think that was a hugely important point to get into the weeds in that meeting, which is why I decided not to do it. But I think there are real pros and cons with both of those options.
Well, the pro on Mass Maritime would be the fact that it's already in place.
Right.
It's a straighter shot.
But I was also wondering, because the person who brought it up, I'm sorry, I don't remember his name, but he mentioned also South Plymouth and Carver and Bourne, and then I'm thinking, well, how much flow would they be adding to this? And then is there room for Little Wareham, to add our waste flow as well? I mean, how big a pipe,
Well,
how big of an outflow would be needed then with all these other towns contributing?
Right. And I think that at this point, Wareham is sort of first in the line of interest for it, right? Bourne already sends their flow here. And Bourne is the location where that outfall is. Wareham has the flows and is looking, and it has a CWMP in review process, looking at how to discharge its future flows, which Plymouth is, the portions of Plymouth that the DEP representative spoke about is just a portion in the south that might come to this regional area. So it does seem like, Wareham is ahead of the game in regards of looking at that.
Well, I
so.
guess in looking at this thing and the whole discussion that started 10 years ago was going down the railroad tracks, okay? And we had numerous meetings, I can't tell you how many, with the various towns to try to get something together on a regional basis. Well, that never materialized. It was just, nobody wanted to look past lunch.
It may be the only way.
It makes sense, excuse me.
Yeah.
It makes sense to run that line down there, however it winds up getting, because the estimated amount of flow that we could get by going to the canal was, I'm gonna say 10 million. I don't remember the exact number, but it was huge, well more than we would need. It would cover Wareham alone's needs for the next 100 years without even batting an eye. The size of the pipe and the rest of that's kind of secondary, only from the standpoint that looking at our location, the fact that we have a functioning plant that we are improving as we go along, the potential for other towns, South Plymouth being one that hasn't hit them that yet, but that's all septic over there. And once that survey of their waters over there is ever done, I'm sure they're gonna get hammered with where are they gonna put the stuff. Plymouth has got its own issues with their plants that they have in the town now, so I would think that where they're already sending some stuff in this direction, they would leap at the possibility of coming in. You've also got Marion, which they, what are they, maybe 20% sewered in Marion? It's minor by comparison. But, with the regulations that are coming down the street, and looking at the Cape on what's happening down there, it's only gonna mushroom and slide across the bridge. Particularly if they put the new ones in, it'll come faster.
Right.
But it's really important to keep both of those options
Oh, yeah.
moving forward, because you
Yeah.
don't know what obstacles you're going to run into with either one of them. And so,
They haven't been eliminated, believe me. I mean, those are still viable. I still think regionalization is kind of the way to go, but it's getting the other people to buy in on it. But if that doesn't happen, you know, I kind of look at it from the standpoint, we could wind up being the hub of where people are going to have to come to. You know, so they become a customer.
Yep.
You know, so that's, you know, I think the potential for the income for the town is there, but unfortunately, it's, as they say, you have to spend money to make money. But you know, something that should not, we're definitely not ignoring that. If we can get some buy-in on regionalization, I'd hop on that in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
Just as fast as you can go.
But from the previous discussions we've had, and we're going to need help from the state
Yep,
to get any kind of regional buy-in. I think that's pretty clear.
I think you're right.
And it was good to hear that there were people in the DEP that are willing, that are eager and wanting to push for that regionalization and help in that
That's
forum,
good.
so,
I mean,
yeah,
that would be beneficial all the way around.
sure, yeah. So, yeah, that's why, again, the timeline of all of this is obviously very aggressive. I mean, the CWP is moving forward either way, because once you have that in place, it opens you up to funding opportunities. But in terms of allowing this existing loan to be 0% instead of 2%, based on the schedule, we would, I think, need at the next meeting, some sort of a determination of, you know, is it acceptable to send to the state for approval? The Mass Housing Authority has to approve this, and the state could take a bit of time. So yeah, so so you have the draft regulations. We're happy to provide others. We've sent a few other examples from towns on Cape, Mashpee, Falmouth, Oak Bluffs that have done theirs. But this one that we modeled was starting off kind of more basic, right? So that we can add on to it depending on the needs of the town. So, but happy to provide the others as well without overloading too much on all that. It's a lot of regulations and
Sarah,
documentation.
cost-wise, with a $36 million borrowing, what's the amount of money for 2% versus 0%? I need to put a dollar amount to say, we really need to press hard on this, and it means a lot of money.
I can give you the answer on the 0%.
Yeah,
Well,
so,
thank you.
how long was it funded for? Over how many years?
It didn't say.
Still my thunder.
Let's see if I wonder if I have that off the top of my head, that PowerPoint.
Where did I put it? I had it here someplace.
The calculation's difficult, right? Because you calculate 2% on a decreasing amount.
I know, but hint-wise, I mean, it's, if we take a look at what we're now doing for our,
So this was from this is the presentation from town meeting.
Yeah.
In October. And so we were comparing we provided the 0%, obviously, the calculation, as you mentioned, Scott, is easy, but we provided that in 2% and 5%. And then when we talked about the amount of how it'll be paid, we talked about 2%. But so you can see here that the cost after Warren's contribution for 0% versus 2%, so we're talking $6 million difference in the end. And again, this figure is now outdated because there's this principal forgiveness offered through this loan program, and the way the state broke up this loan, they broke it up into two loans, 16 million and 20 million, I believe. And the first portion of the loan, the loan forgiveness was actually 14%. So you guys got more than was anticipated, which was great. And we anticipate on the $20 million loan to get around 10% as well. Can't promise it'll also be the 14% loan forgiveness, but which helps out with your interest, of course. But to answer your question, you're talking about $6 million difference.
It's enough to run the plant for a year. The difference.
almost close.
Yeah.
So we're not giving up yet. We're gonna keep on keeping on. Any other questions?
So we have our homework before the next workshop.
Yep. So, Sarah, can you make the next meeting be the 13th?
Yep. Yes.
Jimmy, do we have this room on the for?
Yes, we do.
So 3 o'clock in this room?
Yes, we do.
Apologies, is it, sorry, the next meeting is not the 6th, not 2 weeks from now? The workshop,
That's 2 weeks.
is that?
No, it's only the 2nd and 4th of a month.
Got it.
So
Thank you.
because we
Thank
got
you.
5 weeks, it doesn't
Gotcha.
count that way.
Thank you. All right, 13th, got it. All right. And if you have any questions in the meantime,
That's the 3 o'clock meeting, is it?
Affirmative.
okay.
Anybody else, anything for Sarah?
Have a good evening.
All right.
Excellent,
Have a
thank you.
good weekend.
Thank you all. Yeah, thank you all. Same to you.
Thank you very much, Sarah.
Thank you. See you all soon.
Okay, billing insert.
What we have in our packet, you need to take a look at the second page. When it says it's the back, it's really the insert. In the third page, it says the insert is really the back of the bill.
Oh,
They've been mislabeled
okay.
in the, what we have.
Okay, the back is the insert is the back.
Yeah. Just to. And I did get the Word document. It's my understanding that the sewer department sends the information to the treasuring department, who sends it off to a company called, where's my note? I'll find it. Something called a PKS, who does the printing and the stuffing, and that's who does the work. And they'd like to have it minimum 2 weeks before our billing, so we're looking at February 1st for the spring bill.
Well, can you just go back, because of what's what here? Here's the front,
The front is one, the one that says the insert is the back of the bill.
the back of the bill, like this.
And the one that says back is the insert, the blue piece of paper that we would get with your sewer bill. So you say your blue piece of paper that you get with your sewer bill. Now, one of the suggestions is that on the back of the bill, we put, go to the website warehamsewerdepartment.gov.
Right.
Might strongly recommend you pick up your phone and you go to that website right now.
I've done it on my computer at home, and I come up with the.
I know,
Yes.
but I can't find where it's the billing. I can't, for questions regarding sewer procedures and billing, go to the website. I can't find anything on that website regarding billing.
Okay, and then if you go further on the recommendation, if you don't have the computer, call the phone number.
But
So-
my concern is that we're going to give them a direction, and it takes
Billing
them.
out of, take billing off of the back of the website. I mean, back of the thing.
Sewer procedures, then where, okay, you're on to
Yeah.
the town website, where are the procedures? It's
There's
not.
a list.
You have to go down 3 layers to find that list. It's not easily, Jimmy, it's not easily available.
Well, it's not easily available with the address that's on here right now. It's not
No,
available
that
at all. address
fails.
Which website are you asking us to go to?
It says warehamsewerdepartment.gov. It was,
Wareham, Water Pollution Control Facility,
no,
WPCF.
this note says website,
Okay,
warehamsewerdepartment.gov.
Right.
It came out of last
yeah, right,
meeting.
yes, yes.
I'm trying to give Scott some, this is what we have from you. Questions about sewer procedures and
Trying
billings.
to give you the email, because that wasn't right.
For those without internet access or a computer call, a telephone number, well, they're only there 5 days a week and from 4:30 6:30, 7:30 to 4:30 or something like that?
7:30 to 3:30.
Yeah, which,
It's one day better than town hall.
Yeah.
Exactly.
but we can't use this simple line. We've got to give them more information as to what's available to look at. Because I can't find anything about billing. I know that's what it says, and I'm not sure what procedure. Do I care about procedures? Or do I want to know an answer for what happens if my septic system fails? You can't just call, they're not there 24/7. We have to work on our website. I guess that's my bottom line. We just can't say, go to our website, because it's not easily available. You can't maneuver it easily. Just my intake. But again, we'd have to talk about what do we want on the back of the bill and what do we want in our insert. Scott, you finding what I'm talking about?
No.
You're not coming up, you can find billing, you can find procedures?
Let me see exactly
Yeah.
what you're talking about.
You have the other insert.
This is it. That's what it's been recommended we put on the back of the bill. Just that.
That phone
I'm
number.
gonna have to take
Well,
it.
that phone number's in the office
I may have to
of
do.
the sewer plant. I'm sorry, Jimmy, what?
I said
I'm
I'm
talking
gonna
to
have
him.
to take off.
Continue discussion on the side, what you're having.
If we can do it later, Sandy.
Okay. All right,
I'm sorry, but I'm gonna have to leave.
okay, billing.
Sorry.
So Scott and Sandy to review the billing,
You too.
make
Well, I'd
the
like Carrie to
suggestion
look
for
at
the
it,
next
too.
meeting.
I'll look at it. Look at the insert.
For the record, Bob left at 7:50.
Okay. E, rescind the Bourne billing at 25. We signed a bill at the last meeting. The bill was supposed to have been ended in fiscal year '24. We signed this for '25, so we just need to rescind this vote. She didn't get the information from John Foster until after the fact that it had been rescinded, had been done, been paid off.
Okay, this is the Bourne-based billing? Is that what,
Capital costs,
capital cost? So we approved a capital cost of $31,790.25?
now we approved one of $188,477.53.
But if I look for minutes at the last meeting, we approved $31,790.25. Is that the one you want rescinded?
I want the one for $188,477.53.
We had nothing in that amount. We approved 3 bills, none of them were that amount.
Yeah, that amount was for according to the spreadsheet in the next page, 2024 and 2015. Or 2015's close. 2024.
Okay,
The next page, is that a payment schedule for the 188,477?
I think so.
So when did we approve the FY '25 capital cost?
Okay, I was gonna say last meeting, well, obviously it wasn't the last meeting if you don't have it
The
down.
last meeting was FY '26 numbers.
Okay,
Because I'm reluctant to rescind something when I don't know when we approved it.
okay, we're gonna table this, we'll check with this tomorrow.
That's the rescind the FY '20 capital cost.
Okay, we'll just table this till,
All right.
Right, because one of them
okay,
is 31,000.
Right.
Et cetera. The other one is 987,000.
But those are FY '26.
Yes,
This is '25 issue.
yes, so it wasn't
Yeah.
last meeting.
okay, I don't know, I thought that was last week, but obviously it was not. I'll find out which week it was.
Okay.
So you're tabling that?
Yep, I'll get that taken care of tomorrow. Scott, do you have anything to throw into the fray?
Running very well, and okay, the garage doors are up on the new building, so things are looking good as winter rolls in.
Will you be at town meeting on Monday to talk about the 300,000?
I will be there, yeah. Won't
Will you
miss-
present the article?
If that's what you'd like.
Jimmy? Will you present the article? Do you want Scott to?
Jim's better looking. I mean, probably.
Yeah, right. No, you can, Scott. I don't need to.
So you'll have to speak to the moderator to ask him for permission? Or because he's a department head, he
Yep.
he doesn't have to have permission?
I don't think he does, but,
No, I don't think so. I'm thinking about it because he's the department head.
yeah, I was gonna say, I think you're
Doesn't have
right.
to be in town.
I think you're correct. Okay. Now, we had discussion about where the billing was, the Bowen base billing that we charge. That was established by actual cost and an annual increase of 2.5% when it was established. For Bourne Capital, that's based on the actual cost that, of what we spend on capital and then what their percentage is.
And how's the percentage figured out then? I think that was the actual question. 17.5%?
Is it?
I believe so.
Yeah.
Off the
Pretty
top
sure
of my-
it's
I think that's the
17.5%.
number that keeps going
Yeah,
around.
17.5% is what Bourne's contribution is.
And that's based on their
Capital.
percentage of the flow?
No, that's presented on the basis of the cost of whatever it is that we purchase, that is capital for the
So-
plant.
All our capital costs that we have
Yeah,
is then figured out to be 17.5% for Bourne? Is that how that actually is working?
if it's a capital cost that we have that directly affects Bourne. In other words, if it's something that is applicable to the plant,
So
Yeah,
the
sometimes.
wastewater plant itself.
Right,
The
that's what I'm saying,
$36
yeah.
million project,
yeah.
Narrows Forest name, not likely.
Right, right.
yeah,
But I'm just wondering why 17.5%?
that was what was worked out when they did the thing
So that was by
long ago was that?
negotiation.
years ago. I don't, no idea why.
Years ago, wasn't it?
Yeah, a decade or more.
Probably when they started to feed us their product.
So to speak.
I thought they brought that was, Bourne was brought online in the very beginning when this plant was put in place. And Bourne was brought online, I think, for a couple of reasons. One, Bourne needed a place, and number two, we needed the flow in order to make the plant operate. Because at that time, the amount of surge that we have right now is far greater than what it was in the beginning. I think in the beginning, the only thing they did was really Main Street and one of the beaches around through there, but not much of anything comparative to what it is today.
Okay.
We're still not,
I can't speak to it.
yeah,
Neither can I.
but that's where,
For my days.
yeah, I mean, that's the whole thing is, a lot of this stuff is going back a week or two. Now, Kerry, do you have any update on,
No, not really. I'd like to
Okay.
table this
All right.
Because what I was looking for was, in two categories, was agenda items. I know Sandy had forwarded me some of her items, her hot topics, and like priorities we wanted to have on the agenda.
Okay.
And I don't have it from everybody
If
yet.
you can pass that down, please. This is the work. I'm passing out something that I worked on.
Am I supposed to take, is this?
Just one packet, and then you pass on the other two packets. This is to move on what you talked about. The first page there is the list of actually contracts that I have found and the date they expire on. I sorted them by contract name. I highlighted those that have expired already. Not to do anything, just to be aware that this has been done. Jimmy, you want to?
I'm listening.
The next page is a to-do list, a scoreboard, a task, whatever you ever to call it. What you have here is what I have received from Carrie and Scott and myself as things that we have to consider looking at. Whether we call them agenda items, which could very well be, whether we call them action items that need to be done for Springtown meeting, or getting reports, whatever. But this is my first pass. I have nothing from Bob or from Jimmy to add to this, but this is a combination of what Scott, Carrie, and I looked at to things. Here's a whole list of things we need to do.
Well, in a quick perusal of this is most of these items I have on the list of to do, but it's not something that I would be putting on an agenda on a regular basis.
No, I'm not saying it is. I'm just saying I don't want it to be lost.
No, it's not lost.
It's not lost.
Believe me, it's not lost.
I'm glad we have.
So one of these is an RFP. One of these is to, the update on the Narrows, which happened tonight. What do we do for our retained earnings once they be approved? What do we do? Can we put it aside to help increase the capital stabilization fund? Can we use retained earnings to continue the air pump station updates? Monthly reports of actuals versus budget.
We don't need to run through the whole list. We can
I'm
read
just
them.
saying, here's,
Well, the reason I wanted to table it was because of this. I like to go through and take a look at
Yep,
what I
so-
think.
what I would like, yeah.
What I would like is what I would call some priority agenda items that should be on the agenda.
Yep.
And then some of the monthly scorecard type issues that we should
So-
look at. But before we do that, one of the things I would like to see, if we get Derek back in here to walk us through, we had it up here, this, we just reading off, these capital accounts, the four of them. We have gone through to figure out what funds are in each account, how we get our hands on it, or which ones we can't get our hands on, right? Jim, we were talking about this earlier? I would like to have that educational class given to me. I may be the, right? So, before we get into all this.
Oh,
Is that fair? That's why I wanted to table this, because
Yep,
Yeah, this is a huge bite.
it's.
it is.
It's a great bite, but it's,
I mean-
it's overwhelming.
It's a really nice overview of the things that are in front of us.
I mean, but, I understand, and it's great to have it here, and I appreciate Sandy for putting it together. I mean, I haven't done that specifically, because I've had that list
Well,
from
could,
4 years ago,
well,
which has got those items on it.
Jimmy, could you look at the list and let me know if I've forgotten something?
I will, but I'm not gonna do it right now.
Well, I'm not expecting you to
Hey,
do
I
it
will.
now. I'd
I'm
like
going
s-
to.
Yeah.
By looking at the size of
But
this, I think you've got everything, I can't think of anything to be forgotten.
Now, the next three pieces of paper. I have gone through a 2023 report of not connected properties.
Wow.
I did Rose Point, I did Parkwood, and I did Briarwood.
Excuse me. We've done this before.
No.
You've done this before.
Not to this extent. Let me tell you my process. I know you want to get out of
No,
here,
it's
but
not that, Sandy, it's just, we've got X number to be done, that are not hooked up.
but,
Okay, how do we get them hooked up? Tell me
well,
that. Don't-
what I did, I went through the assessor's database and got the real name of who's in the house now, because a lot of the mail hadn't been delivered with the wrong address and owner.
Yeah, we had that.
I went through the the building department's plans to see if there's any of these properties that are being worked on. I found one that's being constructed and conservation has approved it for a hookup. I went to the Board of Health. They went through their septic file. What they have, if I take a look at Briarwood, there's 3 homes there that are not connected. There's no file for them. That tells me they're probably cesspool.
One or the other, right?
If I look
That'd
at
be cesspool.
Briarwood,
Right, agree with cesspool.
Briarwood, you have items that are not filed, which means they have nothing, or you have the date in which they install their septic system. Those in 2004 have a letter attached to them saying the Board of Health had given them a 5-year reprieve from hooking up to sewer. 5 years in 2004, a little late. If I go down what's on Rose Point, there's a lot of vacant lots, and they're still vacant. But one house, a septic was put in 1975. I think with this
New.
with this information, I think we can better address a letter to each one of the homeowners with more specific, unique to them situations. I still have to go through Oakdale and Cremisa, but to me, this is a start working with the Board of Health
Okay.
to understand what is out there. And, you know,
But, you know, to jump in there, the ones that we can send a letter to try to update them, get them online, the Board of Health is the only one that's got the power to force them. So we've got to,
okay, yes.
I thought we just had this discussion last meeting about who can do this. Who can make someone hook up?
It's in our bylaws.
That we have the ability?
Yes,
we don't have the ability.
it's in the bylaws.
I thought we discussed it.
Okay, who's going to go to the door and knock on the?
One of the things we need to look at is when I was asked to hook up, I had to sign a document saying that I would hook up within 5 years because I had a Title V. But if you take a look at it, it doesn't force me to do it. So there was some documentation given out to these homeowners that didn't have enough, should I say, guts behind it? But to me, if we start looking at this and ask the Board of Health to help us, one of these is identified in the cesspool. Now, what the Board of Health has done for us is for each one of these property, we have a copy of their file. We know where the system was installed, we know when it was installed, we have the idea of what type of system was installed. So they have been very accommodating, giving us information regarding these properties, and it's just, to me, it's a start. I've got a hint as to what we can do, because I'm really tired of not having.
We're still missing, I'm just looking at, on this list, and you don't have anything here for Indian Neck Road.
Indian Nick was not when we received this report in 2023, it was broken down by Oakdale and Cremisa I haven't done yet.
Okay.
Oakdale, I thought I said I hadn't done Oakdale and Cremisa yet. So those are one, Indian Nick, they're on this list. I haven't finished with it. I started with the smaller, older projects.
I just happen to know of one that's been pending for a long time.
Yeah, and I just
And it wasn't here, that's all.
Mrs. Anderson's property on Indian Nick Road just got connected. Mrs. A, my gym teacher's, her house just got connected. So I just wanted you to know that I had done some working on this.
It's good stuff on that.
There's more than
Yes, as I said,
we had previously, actually,
well,
I think. I don't know.
we had, last time we were updated in October 23.
Yeah.
And so by doing that, I can find that 2 were connected in Rose Point. The
But
third
how
one
many-
will be,
How many were outstanding then?
let's see, what do they have here? They had 49 not connected to sewer, 49 in total.
Okay, so So we're gonna hit more than that this time.
No, there won't be any more.
Oh, okay.
There's been no new sewer laid to not be connected to.
Right,
We're going to reduce that number from 49. We've reduced it by at least 3 for what I've researched.
okay.
Because then what happened is that these items that were identified as vacant lots, not connected, guess what? There's a house on it now. That's part of my research into the assessor's database. These vacant lots now have a house on it. And I checked with Anita, and they all got connected.
Oh.
Because they were just recently built. So there's a lot of activity going on, and as I said, I wanted you to be aware of what I've been working
I
on.
appreciate that
Sandy, what
very
are
much,
the
'cause I'm-
addresses at the bottom underneath?
So what happens is that I sorted the addresses by street name, then number for easy research. What it means that 48 Barlow
Right.
may have an address of, a name of Stephen, somebody, but his home address is different than the house address that he lives in.
He may have a PO box, or he has another home elsewhere.
Yes, but if I went to going to the assessor's database, I went to the tax bills, I have the address the tax bills are going to, which are different than what someone might have at 39 French.
Right, and just using that one, what does WIP stand for?
Work in progress.
Okay,
As I
accounting.
said, they came before sewer, they came before conservation, the plan is to connect to sewer, and they're building now.
Okay, and when you see vacant lot, you're telling us now that there are homes that are now on the,
Nope, they're still vacant. This list in 23 listed vacant lots. Some of them now have home on them.
all right, but you got a bunch here that say vacant lot.
Yeah, there's still nothing on them.
Okay.
They're still empty. And all
Sandy?
they've done is confirm that they're still vacant.
This is amazing. Thank you so much
Yeah.
for doing this. This is a
It's
lot
the
of
Board of Health that helped immensely putting this together. But if I take a look at what went out in October of '23, it was undeliverable letter. Well, maybe because it went to the wrong address. That type of stuff. So I'm hoping by having current addresses, it might help us connecting to the people saying, hey, pony up. Because part of what we have to be able to prove is that we are trying to reduce our nitrogen load.
Yeah.
And by doing that, I mean, I have a septic system from 1975. You certainly know that's not a Title V. Of everything we had, when it says no file, it means there's nothing in the Board of Health. They've got nothing on it,
So
which
they're
tells
using a
me
cesspool.
they've got a hole in the ground.
Yeah.
Which means if we can prove it's a hole in the ground, I believe we can force the Board of Health to insist that they hook up. But that's working, that could very well mean we have a meeting with the Board of Health and talk to them about what we would like and what they can do and work together.
Yeah. So one of my homework assignments now is also, I'm pretty sure I've read in the bylaws that we can require people to hook up, but I'll check that and get chapter and verse for the next meeting.
Yeah, would you do that? Because I was under the assumption after last week's conversations about rules, regs, and everything else, like dump dies and dies, that we didn't have the power. It was the Board of Health.
Yeah, well,
That was just my thought process
Well,
to that.
the Board of Health approves all Title Vs.
But we, as far as making,
Oh,
that's what I'm saying.
yep. So there you go. That's what I worked on.
Very nice,
excellent.
it's great stuff.
It's the contractors list that I would like to have some time for Victoria to
'cause-
double check, but I went through a year and a half of,
But remember I showed you
It's-
my sheet? I
Yep.
don't want to pull it out.
Yep.
Can we get this so that it can sort? I
It's-
know you got an alpha.
no, it's in Excel.
Yep, okay.
So what happens is that if you like to put another column on it that talks about the action item, call it an agenda, or call it a workshop, or something else.
I just want to be able to see the contracts by, I like to see
Oh,
them by dollar values.
The contractors, it's an Excel
Yeah.
spreadsheet, so I can sort anyway.
All right.
So I
It is.
sorted it by
By,
name of
alpha.
contractors as opposed to contract name. So I can easily sort any way you want, but some of them are per hour, which means I don't have a dollar amount.
Right. Well, we can go by expiry date too, if you wanna sort.
And I can sort that too. The ones that are highlighted there are, to me, expired.
See, we got a bunch of contracts coming up next year.
Yes, they're annual.
Yeah. Yep. Okay, thank you.
Okay?
Yep,
Thank you.
we don't.
I didn't send it out email because Jimmy doesn't like emails.
We don't need to
They
bring
don't
it.
always come through. I don't know why.
Thank you. So, we are scheduled for 3 o'clock on the,
Yes,
on the
So-
13th, right?
The agenda says workshop at 3 o'clock on the 13th. Don't we have a meeting also on the
yeah,
13th?
we'll just,
Okay, so the next meeting is
3 o'clock here.
11/13 at 3 o'clock
here.
in room.
I have one
520.
item under,
So unless somebody else wants something else, I'm going to make a motion we adjourn.
stop.
No, stop.
Stop. I have one unanticipated item for signature. It's the fiscal year '26 capital costs for Bourne. In the amount of 98 that just came in, so that's why it's last minute. 98,757.89.
We approved it last meeting.
987?
987-57889.
And why is she giving me this now?
We approved it at the Bourne capital cost last meeting.
Okay, we've got a... interesting. All right. Scratch it for now. I'll see what the hell.
But we need to sign it, then.
Wait,
Nothing, no, we're not doing anything.
Is,
if I recall, wasn't there a comma in the wrong spot?
Oh,
correct.
oh,
On the one you guys approved?
Yeah,
So
wait a
it-
minute.
You called it that.
That's right.
But it actually read not in our favor.
yeah, it was
We were getting hay pennies or something like that.
9,870, it was 9,000 instead of 98,000.
Or 987th.
On the paper, but we read,
We read,
Right.
You read
Because
it correctly.
we-
it-
read it
And it's-
correctly.
That's what it was.
and it's in the minutes correctly, so
Yeah,
what
that's-
does, this is not a, this is just a clerical,
The clarification, that's all.
don't need to vote on it.
Okay, good, thank you. You only need one of these signed, right, Sandy? Just give me,
Well, you're going to give us
yeah, I'm gonna
the
give you the whole thing.
Kelly's contract
Yeah,
to
I'm do-
sign.
yeah, I'm
I'm
doing
going to
that
have
right
two
now.
sets of minutes to sign. You're going to give us an updated Bourne capital to sign.
I thought-
I think that's it, 3 things?
thought the-
I'm getting there, one step at a time.
Harry, you thought what?
Didn't we table the Bourne thing? for-
No, we tabled
That
FY
was the other one.
25.
Oh, 25, which
That was the 188,000.
Yeah, we tabled that.
thank you.
Okay, it was the 25 one I have here.
So we have homework for next time.
Kelly, wait a minute.
We- Yes,
I mean, we always have homework, but
I gotta, the one is I wanna read about that water, the water neutral, whatever it was called.
flow neutral.
Huh?
Flow neutral?
Flow
Flow
neutral.
neutral.
Yeah,
Does have a not good connotation to it,
yeah.
but the explanation was very good.
So it's nice to see that, 180 apartments coming in at Rosebrook?
How many are there?
180? Was it 180, 120? 3 buildings?
More
Yeah.
than 5.
More than 5.
1 and 5, less than 200. We have one more, Jim?
Yes.
No, I think you don't have another one. I think it's my
Yes.
minutes.
Yes.
Two
we
sets
do-
of
We do
minutes.
have one more to my hand,
What?
Weston and Sampson.
Well, that's the one you guys tabled.
No, we tabled
Oh, we
it.
tabled that, I'm sorry. That's her too. Put that over here for now. That goes to her. Those are minutes.
Yeah, it does say table.
That's right.
So junk, I don't need that.
Okay, you can make your motion, Sandy. Please.
I make a motion, we adjourn at 8:20.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.